So, business perspective of managing risk. I'm not going to read every word on here. I will let you kind of do so. But the big overall thing here is your business should be deciding the amount of risk you are willing to take, or the type of risk you are willing to take. Early in my career, I was very risk adverse. Like, let's take no risk. We shouldn't have any of these issues, or everything should be fixed. And it should just be, we should just be doing it perfectly. And that's just not how business works, right? And I've told this story a few times, but the thing that really changed my mindset here is when I worked at JP Morgan. Pat Opet, William Opet, who is now the global CISO of JP Morgan, took me aside and said, "Hey, Ross, like, JP Morgan is in the business of taking risk. Every credit card we give out is a risk. Every loan we give out is a risk. Every transaction we're doing, there's risk involved in all of this. And we're okay taking risk. We just want to take smart risk. We don't want to take dumb risk, right?" And so really changed my mindset around this. If the biggest bank in the world goes, "Yeah, I'm willing to take on all this risk, as long as it's smart," then why can't other companies, right? Why can't Drata take on risk, or previous companies I worked at? And that really just changed my mindset around risk. You are going to have risk in your business. And so the question is, what kind of risk are you willing to take, and where? And this is for us as security or compliance professionals to understand from our leadership and executive team. Like, we will take a business risk on, let's say, maybe using a newer product that isn't as well known, because we believe it's going to help our sales team increase sales by 60%, right? We will take that risk. We are okay with that if they don't have every security control that we absolutely need. We will push them to have it. We will make them contractually commit to having it in the future, but we are going to take that risk because it's going to push our business forward. And that's a smart risk that we're willing to take. We are not going to take a bad risk, right? Like, we ensure that all of our infrastructure is pushed as code today and scanned. We are not going to suddenly tomorrow, because somebody in the DevOps team wants to start manually changing things or going and building things out in production, allow that to happen, right? Like, that's a dumb risk. We're just not going to do it. And so really, this is up to you, your business, and your executive team. So please spend some time with them. Like, what is your risk appetite? Where do you want me as a leader in the GRC function or the security function to stand up for the business, for our customers, and for our people? And how do you want me to engage there? And so, um, also, when you think about risk or security in general, I would say just remember your customers come first, and protect your customers at all costs, even before the business, because without customers, you don't have a business. So here, let's talk about risk. These key things here: compliance alignment, right? Many of us have compliance programs or compliance standards that we are trying to meet. We have our own, our SOC 1, our SOC 2, HIPAA, ISO. So in these programs, a lot of them say, "Hey, thou shalt manage risk," right? And you should have a risk management program and stuff like that. They also, a lot of them, if you're doing PCI or others, they will have outright security controls, right? And so you have to meet those security controls if you want to be attested or have mitigating controls or things like that. So one of the things that you want to align your risk program to is, what compliance do we have to pass, right? And this is bigger in, I would say, organizations that have to pass things like PCI or high trust, right? Where there is, hey, you really, really need to meet these controls type of thing. And so the organization should understand, like, hey, we have to do these things to meet it, to meet this standard, and we can't take a risk here, right? Or we can, but we have to put in this mitigating control. So make sure your business and your compliance team is aligned, right? We have a lot of things that we ourselves can't do, that we understand as a business because we need to go meet our compliance goals or our compliance frameworks. I would say the goal of a risk management program is also to mature your business practices, right? Drata has gone through just a massive transformation here. Last July, I think we had 30 something people. We now have 300, right? And if you think about the maturity of a program with 30 people, 30 plus people, versus 300, it is massively different. And the things that we've put in place around our security or our compliance or our risk management or our governance are just massive, right? If you look a year ago, we only had our SOC 2. We've added all those compliance frameworks as well as regulatory compliance and things like that due to Olive and her team's excellent work. And that's made us mature a lot in how we do things. We have a better DSAR process. We have a much, much better security posture these days, due to Josh and his team's work. We have a fantastic onboarding and offboarding process, around how we ensure those things are happening. Because to be honest, onboarding and offboarding is one of the key things that will get you bitten when you're going through your compliance audit, right? And so we've matured quite a bit. And then I would say the last thing is, just business alignment. Make sure that, your program here is to help your business, right? I never believe that risk or security should be used as a hammer just to go beat people about the head, right? Like, we're a business, we can do basically anything. Um, let's make sure it's aligned to those goals. And as we're doing risk management, let's make sure we try and align things. It's never going to be 100% aligned. And trust me, we've had to say no, and we do when we need to. But overall, we try and figure out more the how.